from the ABC 25 studio, this is Eyewitness News at 10.
A cold, quiet start to our weekend tonight, but winter weather is knocking on the Tri-State's door. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Shelley Kirk.
Hello, I'm Brad Bird. Hope you're doing well tonight. We have not seen too much of it this winter, but some snow is expected to fall this weekend. It's going to get colder. Chief Meteorologist Wayne Hart is tracking the system and joins us now with the latest. Wayne?
And Brad, we've been talking about this all week. The Arctic cold front due through Saturday night. It is on the way. It's going to bring some accumulating snow with it and then some much colder air starting on Sunday. It's going to stick around for quite a while. We have a weak system moving through this evening. A few snowflakes flying right along the Ohio River. You can see them there on Live First Warning Doppler. These are not going to amount to much, but this time tomorrow night, Joe's going to be tracking a good deal of snow across the area, and it looks like it's going to begin as a combination of rain and snow late tomorrow afternoon and early evening, and then change over to all snow. Now, the models today have been hitting the snowfall accumulation a little bit harder, pulled back a little bit on the new guidance coming in this evening, but in general, it looks like around an inch or less for a good deal of the area, but there could be some locally heavier 1 to 2 inch amounts in parts of the Tri-State by the time daybreak rolls around on Sunday, and the snowfall will be gone by then, but whatever snow is on the ground is going to stick around because much colder air arrives on Sunday, and then we'll get a brief break on Monday. Another surge comes in on Tuesday, which means 5 of the next 7 days will feature temperatures below freezing, not only for overnight lows, but all day long, start to finish. So it's going to be a prolonged period of very cold air that may include some more chances for snow next week. And I'll have all the details, Brad and Shelley, in my full forecast with some new information coming up in about 10 minutes.
All right, thank you, Wayne. Some tense moments in heavy traffic tonight at the Twin Bridges in Henderson. A car flips over at the base of the bridge near Ottoman Park. Police say the car was headed northbound when the driver lost control and ended up upside down in the median at the base of the bridge. Though the wreck looks horrible, the driver actually walked away with no injuries. Traffic was not affected. No one else was involved in this crash.
Well, the director of the Owensboro-Davis County Regional Airport has been fired effective immediately. The airport board met this evening and voted to terminate Rob Barnett. Now, this comes after Barnett was arrested last week when authorities say he impersonated an officer. He's been on leave since the arrest and will appear in court in April.
While the board's primary duty is to the successful operation of the airport, we also recognize that we all have a duty to each other as human beings. We hope that the people of Owensboro and Davis County can provide Mr. Barnett the same presumption of innocence and privacy he needs as he deals with this difficult time in his life. We wish him well.
A former airport manager, Bob Whitmer, will now serve as the interim director. The board will form a committee to search for a new director. Officials identify the chemical which spilled into the Ohio River in Owensboro earlier this week. Dart Plummer says 900 gallons of styrene monomer leaked on site. More than 300 gallons of that spilled into the Ohio River. Dart says cleanup continues, but the company believes river water quality and community water supply were not affected. The investigation to determine the cause of the leak is ongoing. Styrene monomer is a liquid building block of the plastics industry. Downstream, Evansville Water and Sewer officials tell us that they are pre-treating the water with carbon as a precaution.
Evansville police are warning drivers tonight about a scam involving traffic tickets. Some people say they are receiving emails about tickets they never got. The email claims the person has an unpaid traffic ticket and that they should transfer money to an account to solve the issue, but police say don't do that.
We don't send tickets through email. You either get them when you were pulled over, you might get them in the mail. If there's any questions at all, feel free to contact the police department, the sheriff's department, the clerk's office, any of these locations, and they can walk you through the process step by step.
And if you do receive that email, officers say don't click on anything and immediately call police. Now to the coronavirus. The executions at the end of Donald Trump's presidency at the Terre Haute Federal Prison were likely COVID super spreaders. That's according to the Associated Press. The AP says by the end of 2020, 70% of death row inmates were sick with COVID-19. Guards and execution team members also had the virus. There were also journalists who witnessed the executions who tested positive. but were never informed by the Bureau of Federal Prisons they were infected.
At least 24 states, including Kentucky and Illinois, have made educators eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine. Indiana is yet to be added to that list. But some Evansville teachers have been able to get on backup lists. Deaconess Hospital has been calling the school corporation when they have additional vaccinations remaining after a day of giving shots at the clinic. One teacher from North Junior High School says that she jumped at the opportunity.
I really appreciated that Deaconess reached out to EVSC and that EVSC was so quick to get the message to us. But I also know that it's kind of random as to who actually gets the call. And there are other teachers that I know who really should be vaccinated who have not gotten the call yet.
Although broadly based on CDC recommendations, states have different styles for describing the phases of the vaccination and how they prioritize them. Well, educators across Davis County, Kentucky received their first COVID vaccines today. Nearly 300 teachers were vaccinated at the Lawn and Garden Center at Walmart. Vaccinations will continue for K through 12 educators at Owensboro High School this weekend.
Some controversy just days before the big game. Kansas City Chiefs assistant coach Britt Reed, the son of head coach Andy Reid, is being investigated for a drunk driving crash that injured 2 children. That crash happened last night in Kansas City. Police say Britt Reed was driving on an interstate when he crashed into a stranded vehicle. A 5-year-old is in critical condition tonight from that crash. Reed told police he admitted to having 2 or 3 drinks and taking the drug Adderall. So far, no charges have been filed. Reed is not expected to travel with the Chiefs to Tampa. An Evansville native whose voice has reached millions will be rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs in this year's Super Bowl. He's not only a fan, but also happens to work for the team. And his voice is familiar. We listened to it here in the Tri-State for years. Eyewitness News' Jill Wilderman is live at Enlow Field in Evansville with the story. Jill?
Brad, Dale Carter now spends most of his time at Arrowhead Stadium, where his voice can be heard from the 50-yard line all the way up to the nosebleed seats. He is a PA announcer for the Kansas City Chiefs. He says his journey from Evansville to Kansas City started at Enlow Stadium when he was an announcer at Bosse High School. It's his first stop when he visits his hometown.
And you know what happens when you get one of these? You want the next one. I'm hoping to fill out all the fingers on these hands.
Dale Carter proudly displays the Super Bowl ring he got last year and has confidence that the Chiefs will again take the title.
From the 35-yard line, it's 3rd down. And then, I mean, it reverberates through the entire stadium and the crowd just goes absolutely crazy.
A fun hobby is how it all started for Dale Carter.
And it was kind of a hobby. You know, back then we'd all play radio in the basement. We had these cool stereo systems and we'd play like we were on the radio.
Carter started his broadcasting career at stations like WROZ and WKDQ in the Tri-State. But his path led him to the NFL as a PA announcer. Carter is now in his 12th season with the reigning Super Bowl champs.
This is my job. This is what I do. But at the end of the day, I'm just a fan.
Dale says he's a fan with a microphone who is there to help the Chiefs win. His role, though, has its own impact on Chiefs fans and their overall experience at the games.
If you came to Arrowhead Stadium and, you know, things are going well for us, as they usually are with Patrick Mahomes, you know, and we have a really big play, I say, that's good for a Kansas City Chiefs. And the whole crowd yells, first down.
He says the real champs in his life came from Evansville. That's why he says he finds comfort when he gets a chance to come back and walk around Bosse High School and Enlow Field.
Had I not gone to Bosse High School, nothing that's happened in my life would have happened.
And while he took a stab at playing football himself, he says he's thankful for the one piece of advice his high school coach gave him.
And he said, Dale, as a football player, you make a great broadcaster. So that told me everything I would need to know for my career.
Dale Carter's work season has come to an end with the Chiefs. He also has a morning show on KFKF Radio in Kansas City. He says he'll be watching the big game from the comfort of his home. Live in Evansville, Jill Wilderman, Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Jill. Still to come, death of an iconic actor on stage and on screen. Christopher Plummer, the gift he shared, coming up.
And Chief Meteorologist Wayne Hart is here now. A quiet night to get ready for what's to come.
That's right. Winter comes at us in a big way starting tomorrow night. And once it gets here, temperatures below normal for an extended period of time, along with a little snow. But today was a nice February day, 23 the low and 44 the high. But I'll have an update on the chances for accumulating snow tomorrow night and just how cold it's going to get and how long it's going to last when Eyewitness News at 10 continues.
Get the highest rated local weather app from the App Store today. Now, from your weather authority, Chief Meteorologist Wayne Hart.
Well, the cold air is on the way. The first blast of Arctic air expected to arrive tomorrow night. And in the process, it looks like some accumulating snow. The guidance today was hitting the snowfall amounts a little harder, pulling back a little bit this evening. But unlike the past few snowfall events, and they've been small, the temperatures were around 30 to 32. This time we're going to start in the 30s, but wind up in the teens, which means driving conditions may turn quite slick, even with a little bit of snow later on tomorrow night. But today was nice compared to what's headed our way. We were in the low to mid 40s. We'll be just a little cooler tomorrow. And then the bottom begins to drop out of the thermometer. We got a few flurries out there this evening, mainly along the Ohio east of Evansville. These are not amounting to much of anything, and they're going to be on the way out here in the next few hours. But tomorrow night at this time, Joe is going to be tracking a pretty big swath of snow falling across the tri-state. Our Zemer Funeral Home tower camera all quiet in downtown Evansville with a temperature right now of 37. And after a very windy day, winds have settled down out of the west-northwest at around 5 miles per hour. Temperatures in the 30s area-wide, ranging from 30 in Greenville to 38 up at Tell City and Santa Claus, Princeton. We'll see temperatures as skies begin to clear, fall off into the low to mid-20s by daybreak tomorrow morning. We have a big upper-level low in Canada that's kind of parked there and is going to be sending waves of Arctic air to the south over the next 7 days. And so confidence is high. It's going to get progressively colder, especially as we head through next week. The real challenge with the forecast is how much snow are we going to get with all this cold air in place. And it's difficult to time out these waves of energy that will be coming down with some moisture coupled with the cold air. But I think we'll see at least a couple chances of accumulating snow next week, but too early at this point to really pinpoint the best chances time-wise as we head through next week. But we certainly have a pretty good idea what's going to happen tomorrow night. Future Tracker in the short term here clears us out overnight, some sun in the morning. We cloud up in the afternoon, then a rain-snow mix comes in late afternoon, early evening. And this is the wild card in terms of who's going to get most of the snowfall accumulation, or at least the heaviest. At 9 p.m., it's still mainly rain here in western Kentucky, but other models are colder and change this over to snow faster. If that happens, our heavier amounts could be in western Kentucky. If it doesn't, our heavier amounts will be up in our northwestern counties. But I think in general, by the time this is over with, you can see a solid area there at midnight, but gone by daybreak Sunday. We're looking at anywhere from a coating to probably an inch in a good deal of the area, but maybe as much as 2 inches in some parts of the tri-state if we see that changeover a little faster tomorrow evening. Then the clouds increase on Sunday, but it's dry but very cold. Highs only in the upper 20s. We'll catch a little bit of a reprieve on Monday before another surge comes in Tuesday. Much nicer down in Tampa for the big game on Sunday evening. Partly cloudy skies, light winds, temperatures in the mid-60s. We can only dream about that this weekend. Some clearing overnight. We fall back through the 20s. Tomorrow, clouds increase. Scattered rain and snow develops late in the afternoon. 37 to the north, 47 to the south, low 40s here in the metro. 7-day forecast, a lot of alerts on the board. Put a snow alert up for tomorrow night. Again, an inch, maybe a little less in a good deal of the area, but locally heavier amounts. But even with the lighter amounts, temperatures by daybreak Sunday, 17. So that could lead to some slick conditions. And the winter weather alert for Sunday, the high of 29. We do get up to 37 Monday, so catch a brief break, and then we're back below freezing starting Tuesday through the rest of next week. Continuous temperatures below the freezing mark, getting progressively colder. The high next Friday only 18 degrees, with chances of snow mixing in with at least a couple of waves that will be moving through the area. So this is going to be a prolonged period of extreme cold. Not so much the overnight lows. We're not talking about single digits or below zero temperatures at night, but daytime highs only in the 20s, and next Friday in the teens. So Brad and Shelley, hang on. The changes begin tomorrow night with some snow.
All right, we'll be ready. Thank you, Wayne. Well, still to come, the wrong place and the wrong time to have an appendicitis attack. The Coast Guard comes to the rescue.
This morning at Eyewitness News Daybreak, we were live at the Owensboro Walmart Supercenter as teachers there received their first vaccine.
And a chance of rain and snow over the weekend. How's it looking for next week? I will let you know. Join us for Daybreak on Monday.
So for not being able to come up with those Loverboy songs.
You're watching Eyewitness News at 10 on ABC 25 with Brad Bird, Shelley Kirk, meteorologist Wayne Hart, and sports with Randall Parmalee.
Christopher Plummer, the award-winning actor who played Captain Von Trapp in The Sound of Music, has passed away.
His manager said Plummer died this morning at his Connecticut home with his wife by his side. Plummer became a star in 1965 when he was opposite Julie Andrews in The Sound of Music. The Oscar winner also played a variety of roles in the films The Insider, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. He was the voice of the villain in Up and a canny lawyer in Broadway's Inherit the Wind. Christopher Plummer was 91 years old. Fox Business Network cancels Lou Dobbs tonight after a decade. Fox News Media said the move was part of routine programming changes. The company said plans were in place to launch new formats after the 2020 election. Fox News would not say, though, if the decision is due to a multi-billion-dollar defamation lawsuit filed by an election technology company against 3 Fox hosts, including Dobbs.
A fisherman out in the ocean off Alaska is hit with an appendicitis attack. Help came in the form of a U.S. Coast Guard air crew from more than 40 miles away in Kodiak. The crew flew in, picked up the fisherman, and took him to an emergency medical team awaiting him in Cold Bay. The fisherman is now in stable condition and expected to fully recover.
Now, Randall Parmalee is here now. The Friday night before the big game, we're back down in Tampa tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Our big game coverage continues. Really neat story about a player who finally had his chance to get to the Super Bowl, only to get hurt this year. We've got that coming up next. Plus, it's a girls' sectional semifinal Friday night. Highlights from Class 3A and 4A where Castle rolls into the finals. We've got all those highlights coming up next in sports.
And now, your sports authority with Randall Parmalee.
Evening, everybody. The countdown is almost over. Super Bowl 55 is now just 2 days away. But for one member of the Buccaneers, the big game will be bittersweet. His season was cut short earlier this year with a career-ending injury. Chris Hagan with her sister station, WXI in Indianapolis, has that story as our big game coverage from Tampa continues.
What type of injury did AQ Shipley suffer at the end of the game?
He just had a stinger, and looks like he's going to be okay. thought it was a stinger. I thought it was a stinger. I was literally about to go back in the game. I got all my feeling back. Strength was fine, blah, 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 blah. Get an MRI the next day. I got a bruise on my spinal cord. I was lucky as heck to walk away from the thing.
And just like that, his playing career was over.
He had this injury back in 2013, I believe. Once we did the MRI and x-rays, it was determined he really shouldn't play anymore.
It was about a 48-hour period where I was really feeling sorry for myself, and then it was like, all right, let's figure something out and kind of get back on your feet. And I went to him, told him I wanted to be involved. I wanted to start kind of helping out coaching if I could. He thought that was a great idea, kind of got me involved right away.
AQ has adjusted to his new role, but he admits Super Bowl Sunday will be tough.
It's going to be, there's going to be a bunch of different emotions, no question, not being able to play. But, like I said, I'm very okay with where I'm at.
But there is one big benefit to retirement.
I've been attacking this losing weight thing that all linemen kind of do when they're done. So I've lost like 40 pounds in like 10 weeks, yeah.
You're going to be handsome before you know it.
God, I hope so.
AQ is looking tough. Now, should the Bucs win, he will get a Super Bowl ring just like his teammates. So hopefully this will end well for him. All right, girls section hoops now. 3A semifinals, Memorial and Heritage Hills here in the third quarter. Here's Avery Neff with a nice feed inside to the Auburn-bound Rebecca Gordon. Patriots will down big 38-19. Here's Emma Smith to Riley Anslinger for the bucket. Memorial up 21. Later on, Hadley Litton draws the defense. She finds Rebecca Gordon for the bucket. It's a 47-24 Memorial lead. And then Avery Kelly just keeps it going, the drive, and she gets the tough bucket to fall. All Memorial tonight, they win 60-30. An impressive win for the Lady Tigers, who are off to tomorrow night's finals. They will take on either Boonville or Gibson Southern. Here in the first quarter, it's the Titans' Cameron Miller with a nice feed inside to Taylor Singer. This will put Gibson Southern up by 2. Look at this from Boonville, defense to offense. Deshauna Foster gets the block, hauls it in, outlet pass to Alicia Brandenberger. She gets the bucket to go to tie the game. Gibson Southern now's Carson Cruz inside with a strong post move. She gets a shot to fall. The Lady Titans win 43-29, so they'll play Memorial tomorrow night in the finals. All right, Class 4A at Harrison. It's Castle and Harrison. First quarter, Castle goes inside to Natalie Niehaus, who finishes in the post. The Knights will be up by 2. Here comes Harrison now. Micaiah Robertson gets inside and banks home the floater and 1. Castle, though, still up by 3. More from Robertson, the pull-up jumper from close range. The Warriors down by 1. After that, the Knights hit the gas. Kihei Swope here with the bucket, and Castle rolls 83-19. They are off to the finals. Here's the Knights scoreboard. Eyewitness News at 10. We'll be right back. Rain snow develops early tomorrow night, changes over to all snow, then ends about a ½ inch to as much as 2 inches in a few locations, and very cold Sunday and much of next week.
Thanks for watching Eyewitness News at 10.
And our weekend crew will take care of you the next few days. We'll see you back here Monday.
Get the highest rated weather app and news on the go with our Your Weather Authority and Tri-State on the Go apps.